The next couple of areas are in the areas of recruiting and selecting fairly, and I link that again with managing performance fairly, in that more and more people recognise it's important to attract and retain the best talent in order for your organisation to thrive. Now, in no way am I saying that there should be any special treatment for anybody who's part of the GLBT community, but equally, there should be equal treatment, equal opportunity. There's one point which they cover which I think will be of relevance to a lot of you, and that's in the area of reviewing terms and conditions. With the legislation that's passing through the Houses at the moment, the onus will be on a lot of you to, where you have not done so already, review your terms and conditions and make sure that the terms and conditions you have in place do not discriminate against gays and lesbians, bisexual, transgender, particularly in the area of relationships, pension rights, and so on and so forth. So this is probably one of these areas that's a little more urgent, because there's, you're going to be forced to change to a certain extent. The next area is in the area of employee networks. Now, this is something I'm speaking to you here today because I lead the local chapter of IBM's employee, gay and lesbian, bisexual and transgendered employee network, known as EAGLE at IBM. The employee networks are interesting. They're a very important way of allowing people to develop. We have operated both intra-company. We have a network that operates throughout IBM across the globe, but we link with equivalent organizations in other companies, such as Microsoft, Google, Accenture, BT, and so on. And I would hope that over time, we're going to see more and more of those employee organizations that we can interact with. It's interesting, just as an aside, we have senior executive sponsorship for all of our diversity initiatives in IBM. And each year, the executives and the team around them identify what we call a vital few. These are a few key things that we are going to focus on for that year, things that in some way need to be addressed, improved, or enhanced. And it's interesting to look at the vital few for GLBT in 2010. We have aspects such as leadership development, a couple of areas in that. So what that means is that ensuring that people who are GLBT are given access to leadership development, management development programs, and so on. That's important to us because one of the few measures we have of how successful we're being is the number of out executives that we have. It's maybe not the most comprehensive measurement, but there are limits on what you can actually measure, what you're legally allowed to record or what's appropriate to record. So we use this as a measurement. It has a number of benefits. First of all, it shows how we're progressing. Secondly, it shows to everyone that there's no pink-tinged glass ceiling, that you can expect as an out GLBT person to progress as far up the organisation as your capabilities permit. Other areas are, for example, in workplace climate. We have things like reverse mentoring for country general managers and senior managers. By reverse mentoring, I mean that the senior manager has somebody from the GLBT organisation who's mentoring them about what it's like to be gay in IBM, what issues may exist, and so on and so forth. And that helps to develop a climate of openness and to ensure that we have, from the top down, we have buy-in to everything that needs to be done. Couple of points just to wind up. In the area of monitoring and evaluating, I think this is one of the areas where, as Kieran alluded to earlier, we benefit from external evaluation. We participate in Stonewall's Equality Index. We have been placed top of that 2 times in the past 4 years. What was interesting was when we dropped from top place and received feedback from Stonewall, there were programs put in place to ensure that we addressed those issues that had arisen. So our determination was to get back to the top again. We also, since 2003, we have been rated as being 100% gay-friendly by the Human Rights Campaign in the US, and we have over 40 awards globally for what we have done in the GLBT area. Finally, let me wrap up by saying this guide is excellent. I see it as a first step. I hope that here in Ireland we're going to have the equivalent of Stonewall's Diversity Index. We'll have an Irish Diversity Index, and that everyone here will be participating in that and will be fighting to come out top of that. I also hope that every HR director and every CEO will have a dog-eared, well-thumbed copy of this as they implement the policies and the recommendations that this guide tells you, that recommends and tells you how to do. Thank you very much.
I'd like to thank Dominick and Kieran for their excellent input, and particularly Dominick for his call to arms to all the HR managers there amongst you to really engage with the guide. And I'm delighted that Dominick and hopefully yourselves will find it a very practical tool for yourselves going forward. Also interested to hear about Dominick's reference to some excellent workplace programs, LGBT workplace programs from abroad, in particular the Diversity Champions program and some of the benchmarking processes within that. And we would certainly share Dominick's desire and vision to see a similar program developed and rolled out in an Irish context. And we would very much hope it's a case of watch this space.